Hi everyone, Neil here from Active Performance. So this week we're going to be going through some tips and tricks which will help with your calorie intake. So first up is plate size. So as you can see from this image here, the food is exactly the same quantity. However, it's just shown on two different plate sizes. So sometimes if we eat off a smaller plate size, then we feel like we're slightly more satisfied because our food has filled the plate. However, if we eat off a larger plate size, then we may not feel we've had the same quantity of food. So a simple change like that can be a little mind trick, but it can help reduce our calorie intake and reduce our portion sizes as well. Also, another point to consider is filling up your plate with vegetables and salad. So there's loads of benefits of this. Obviously, increasing fiber, increasing vitamins and minerals, but also increasing your feelings of fullness because again, you are eating a higher quantity of food. However, it's very low in calories. So filling up your plate with vegetables, side salad, all of that good stuff has got so many benefits. And again, it's going to help you feel fuller and less likely to eat more or want to eat more after your meal. Eating slowly is very important because it allows our fullness hormones to be released. So it can take up to 20 minutes for your brain to receive these messages. So if we do eat our food super fast, then again, we're not going to get these messages to the brain. We're not going to feel satisfied and we're going to want to eat a bit more food. However, if we eat it a little bit slower and allow these messages to be sent, we'll then possibly feel a little bit fuller and more satisfied at the end of the meal and less likely to want to eat more. So take your time when you're eating your food. Planning your week is also extremely important. So plan your week, plan your meals, make sure you know what you're having for breakfast, lunch, evening meal, and what you're having on each day as well, because then you're less likely to just grab convenient foods if you aren't prepared on the day. Also, try and plan your supermarket shop. So again, rather than going to the supermarket without a list and possibly going to the supermarket hungry, you're probably going to pick up foods that you don't require, foods that you fancy just on that day. Whereas if you stick to your plan and plan your meals for the week, then you can collect that food and you're less likely to go off course and more likely to stay on track. Swapping sugary beverages for sugar-free beverages is going to save a lot of calories. So you might be the type of person that does enjoy the occasional sugary drink, for example, a Coke or a Fanta. However, they are high in sugar. We've spoken about the impact that can have on your blood sugar levels, and also that's going to make you feel hungry when those blood sugar levels drop. However, if you do replace it for a sugar-free version, then it's obviously a lot lower calories. So you're going to be saving a lot of calories over the week and over the month just by making these changes. Another good point on this is doesn't have to be necessarily Diet Coke, for example. You could look at options such as flavored sparkling water. So you're getting that hydration in there as well with a little bit of flavor, and you'll probably be a bit more satisfied that you've had something sweet, but obviously it's a lot lower calories. And getting a good night's sleep is really important for that calorie intake. If we have poor sleep, then we're going to be tired the next day. If we're tired and lethargic, our metabolism is going to slow down, so we might not be burning as many calories throughout that day. We're not going to be as productive. We're probably less likely to exercise and be active. And that will also increase our appetite as well. Because we're low on energy, we'll then seek sugary foods to try and increase our energy levels. However, that's just going to increase your calorie intake. So make sure you rest up and get plenty of sleep. And finally, a few just different options that we can think about throughout the week, which again will help keep us on track. So swapping our olive oil for something like a fry lighter 1-cal spray is just going to save you some calories there if you are frying any foods. Another point we keep discussing is hydration. So sometimes you might feel hungry when actually you're thirsty. So make sure you stay hydrated throughout the day. That's going to increase feelings of fullness. You could also have a drink before your meal, again, to increase those feelings of fullness too. Have some healthy snacks accessible, so things like fruit if you fancy something sweet, some nuts, but just be aware of the calorie intake of those nuts, so try and reduce the quantity that you're having. You could cut up some carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, dip it in things such as hummus. Again, vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein. Boiled eggs in the fridge. We could have some lean meats in the fridge which are accessible to get our protein levels up. Things like rice cakes are a very low calorie snack which are very handy to have. And then skyr yogurt we've discussed as well, high in protein and a good snack to have just to keep those energy levels up and support the body. And then also just trying to avoid our sweets and treats. So make sure that they're not accessible. So can we put them in cupboards? Can we hide them away so they're not in view? Or if we do fancy a sweet treat, can we just consider a mini version? So rather than having a large Mars bar, could we possibly have one of the smaller Mars bars out of a celebrations pack or something like that, so that they're not in sight and they're obviously reducing our calorie intake throughout the day. Okay guys, so the bottom line is just making sure we introduce these small changes at a time. So don't feel like you need to completely upheave your whole diet and make loads of changes. So small little changes, which is going to help reduce your calorie intake, and then also just keeping those activity levels up. So keeping up with the face-to-face sessions, the YouTube sessions, and any extra activity that you're doing, such as walks or cycling, to help improve your calorie expenditure. So we've discussed the things that we need in our diet and how important calorie intake and calorie deficit is. So next week, we're going to be just looking into technology to support a calorie deficit. So various apps to track our intake and track our expenditure to see exactly how many calories are coming in, how many calories are going out, and how that will support our weight loss journey.